So here's a funny thing. I watched a YouTuber yesterday, and I guess the controversy with the world's strongest man is that Mitchell Hooper was complaining, about family members having to pay for a ticket and the cost of travel and all this other stuff, and I have no idea what any of those things cost because I've never been to an event. It's just, although I love this sport, I love powerlifting, it's just never been a draw for me to spend that kind of money to travel there. So if I can't watch it on TV and support it that way, it's just not going to happen. There's just not that big of a draw, for me. And I guess, when you're talking about athletes, they take a lot of PEDs and they're performing all these feats of strength. I love that. It's great. And, to pull over 1,000 pounds off the floor, deadlift is phenomenal on the human body. And but there's a lot of drugs involved in that, it's not natural. You don't naturally pull 1,000 pounds off the floor. So those guys abuse their bodies just for a show. And I think there should be a significant reward for that, because it just goes to show that under the right circumstances, right conditions, it's phenomenal how much weight the human body can hold, pull, move. It's astonishing to me. And to me, it just goes to the great creator, the Lord, that has created such a phenomenal structure in the human body that, we can do so many things. It just amazes me. So I give God, the glory for all of that. Certainly in my strength gains, it's just been phenomenal for me. But anyway, so, back to some of that controversy. I don't quite understand it. So there's, I think his name is Paul O'Dwyer. He's this Irish or Scottish guy. I like the dude, man. I like his accent. And I watched his video last night. And, to me, it's funny how they say it's tree or something like that. Anyway, so he's a cool dude. And he's super strong, but, for whatever reason, he just hasn't really, I think genetically, really hit his peak yet. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is that, he wants to do in that sport. But anyway, great guy. He has a funny channel. He was doing it for a while with his sister. And his sister reminds me of an actress from the same country, red hair. She starred in a lot of films with John Wayne. That's who she reminds me of. And O'Hare, I can't think of her name, but that's who Paul's sister reminds me of. Just as gorgeous could be, and an awesome Scottish voice. It's just incredible. I think she could play her in a movie. But anyway, so just all this controversy. Even Tom Stoltman said something about it. If you're gonna badmouth somebody, do it private. Get a hold of them, call them. Don't make it public, kind of thing. Which I wasn't really sure why Tom would interject himself into something like that, but he did. But it's a brief comment, and you can tell he appeared to be displeased by Mitchell Hooper's comment. But I think Mitch has a right to say what he wants to say on any platform he chooses to say it in, as long as he's, not being disrespectful, and mean-spirited by it, to make it public, to do that would be bad. But, if you want to take that offline and have those conversations, with the powers that be that control that organization, that's great. But what I think they need to do is go back to making it public so that everybody can watch it. When you make it pay-per-view and then it doesn't come out for months later, I've already lost interest. Because I've seen snippets throughout that period. Well, now I know who the winner is. So what's the point of watching? So for the world's strongest man and any of the other strongman competitions, my word to them would be make it public. That's how you get more people into your fold and get interested in the sport. And whether you have commercials or merchandise or whatever, there's other ways to make revenue. Certainly sponsorships. The more people watch it, the more people are going to want to sponsor, and then you'll have that revenue coming in. It's really not that difficult. So, but unless you really get it out there to the masses to see and hype it that way, it's just not going to grow. It's just not. I found Strongman by mistake, and I was on YouTube flipping, and I was just looking at powerlifting and exercise and blah blah blah, different ways to do this movement, and then that popped up, and that's how I got started on following Strongman, and Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall and Mariusz Pudzianowski and Big Z and and a few other dudes. I really got to like them personally, in their strength gains. Sometimes they would excel, other times they wouldn't. But I liked watching that journey. Some of them have their own little YouTube channels and stuff, and they're doing very well with it. But again, back to what I was saying, if you really want to grow the sport and popularize it, you have to get it out to a bigger audience. So you might lose a little money, in the short term, but in the long term, you'll gain a greater audience. And by gaining that greater audience, you're creating a market that way. People get familiar with the athletes and like their journey, want to follow their journey, blah blah blah. But you're not doing that. So this CrossFit stuff's dying out, and Strongman's really coming into play, but it needs more exposure, and people don't want to pay for something they're not familiar with. I'm not going to pay $25 or whatever the cost may be to watch a sport I'm not familiar with, or the participants I'm not familiar with. So that's where you guys have got to change things up. Dumbass. Well, some people are dumb. It's freaking 70 miles an hour, and this stupid Yahoo's doing less than 50 in the middle lane. How many videos have I made about that stupid crap? Man, does that tick me off. So I drive by, and she's wearing pajamas. White pink pajamas. God, I swear, some people just get out. I think they just get up early in the morning thinking, pardon my language, I'm going to go out in the wee morning hours in peak traffic just to piss people off. She succeeded in one. And that's a county that we live in. My God, there's so many degenerates in this county. It's just sickening. Anyway, back to powerlifting and strongman. Just that's what I would suggest. They need to broaden their exposure, get it out to more people, and more people will flock to it. I guarantee you. I did. So anyway, so that's my short little 9-minute clip on strongman and getting it out to the public, and Mitchell Hooper, and he's got some valid points, but I wouldn't have done it the way that he did it. But hey, if you reach out to some folks and they don't answer you, well, then I guess that's your only alternative. But if you've never reached out to folks and you just decide to make it air your dirty laundry, so to speak, without giving them a chance, I think that's pretty pretty chicken shit, honestly, if I'm being honest. It's a cowardly way of doing it, but anyway, it seems like he's got results, so kudos to Mitch. I'm not taking anything away from Mitchell Hooper. He's done exceptionally well for a guy that's only been in this a short period of time. I'm amazed at what he's done, so I'm not sure how much longer he can keep that up, but anyway, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment, share the video. I certainly love feedback on it. What's your thoughts on strongman competition? Are you guys into it, not into it, stupid, dumb, lame? What do you think? I personally love it. It's one of my favorite sports, and I enjoy watching it. They just need to make it more public and stop this pay-per-view nonsense. It's just not worth it for me. And it's not worth it for a lot of people. Anyway, thanks. Like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you a dime, and I'll see you on the next one.